I looked forward to seeing what Al Ewing would do with the Hulk after discussing character arcs with him over lunch last year in London. I had my own obsession at the time, which was character avoidance, but little did I know that he possibly had these ideas on the Hulk and Jungian Shadow back then. This is the strength behind Ewing's new Immortal Hulk series. It's not classic Hulk smash, but it uses psychological horror to do some great character work in treating Banner as a wanderer again, with an alter ego whose domain is the night. Ewing's script is served really well by Joe Bennett's art, which is neither Jim Lee super-heroic nor Joe Madureira cartoony, but it can handle both Hulk's gross form and more low-key psychological drama. In fact, I just love the faces this guy draws for particularly important beats. You give me a Leo Madureira style and it would suck the enthusiasm out of the project for me. Ewing starts with a Jung quote from Psychology and Religion, and yet again it's exactly where my interest is at, roughly in the arena of having a false persona. Bravely for a big new #1 and a Marvel title like this, Ewing opts to intro his story arc via a completely unknown character. Then look at this attention to detail a couple of pages later, when we have a character that I assume Ewing scripted as having a green hat reflecting onto the skin, a continuation of the writer's clearly stated theme, mirrors and reflection. And this is clearly Banner. He's also reading a magazine that we'll see showcases on the cover possible sightings of the Hulk. There's a robbery, which is a cliche in as much as I've drawn and written a very similar robbery for Giantess issue 11, but does Ewing do the expected from a #1 like this? No, Hulk makes no appearance and Banner is dead. This is, after all, the Immortal Hulk, so Ewing makes an effort to demonstrate this biological link between Banner and Hulk, which he appears to mirror later in the series with Sasquatch. Banner can die, but then he changes and bam, we're back in the game. The robber is in debt to a gang of bikers, so Ewing sets up their characters, portraying this robber as rather pathetic and the bikers as fairly psychopathic. We have this for a couple of pages, then Thoom. It's very much like supernatural horror, in which the antagonist is an indestructible force, and various characters decide, foolishly, to wander around in the dark. Only this is our titular protagonist. And finally, beyond the midpoint of the book, we get a Hulk action scene. But the scene is actually just a panel, and it's only his hands. Again, Ewing is very, very brave here, but as he's been promoting this for quite a while, Marvel clearly signed off on this fresh approach, and it works. Look at this panel. This huge panel does what? Well, it's purely for atmosphere, pure horror atmosphere. All his biker associates have been picked off, and he's out here alone in the dark. So now do we get the big action finale with Hulk towering above the loser, waving his arms and roaring? No, he's just crouching, having a conversation. Then that huge spread is followed by this one. What would usually be epic Marvel spreads with violence and multiple characters flying through the air becomes an intimate crouching moment, then a huge close-up with one tiny bubble. The shock of this method works in terms of hammering home the points made. Ewing is not deploying Hulk as an atom bomb, he's deploying him on various errands of wandering justice. But no, he's still not up for hitting the guy just yet. In a very Jungian shadow work way, he's asking this little dweeb about holding all that power in his hands, wondering what you could do if you let the power loose. So now Hulk smash, right? Yes, but look what Ewing does. Very classy. And then this. Because although we say show don't tell, in horror not showing is the best way of creating horrifying tension. We end with more mirrored dialogue on the other guy with the reporter who's on Banner's trail. Even then, even more mirrored dialogue with Banner looking himself in the mirror and asking if he's a bad person. Ewing closes the mirror loop in a very classy way. He's a writer knowing when the issue starts, where it will go and what he wants to say, establishing a really astonishing lack of Marvel cliches, while at the same time making satisfying callbacks to things like the original TV show. Issue 2 gets even better.